So today we're gonna be talking about the healthy and unhealthy relationships. And for that, ladies, I had to pull my book because here I have put in 2 chapters the information that I'm gonna be sharing with you. So I'm gonna compress a little bit of 2 chapters. Of course, in the book I go into detail about what is that. Hey, Marisol is watching. Hey, darling. So in chapter number 5, I put this how to know if you are in the right relationship. Okay, in this chapter I have several points where I guide you into how to recognize if you're in the right relationship. So this is for people who are already in relationships, and this is what I'm going to be talking to you after we discuss what are healthy and unhealthy relationships, right? This is our agenda. So how to tell the difference? How do you recognize if you are in an unhealthy relationship? Well, for that I also have a list. I have put in everything, so because I receive so many questions from women that they don't know if they should stay or they should leave. They don't know if they are with the right person. They are confused, and this happened to many people. And sometimes you are maybe in a relationship that needs some. En español, please. Ah, sí, querida. Tengo que hacer otro grupo. I have to create another group for that. Promise, pinky promise. So first, let's check this list on how you can tell the difference, right? If you are in an unhealthy relationship. Sorry, in a healthy relationship. And I want to tell you at the same time what the unhealthy relationship is, right? Here I have my lovely friend Marisol with me. Kisses, darling. We want to have a supper together with the girls tonight, right? That's so cool. Okay, so back to you guys. So how do you feel in a healthy relationship? So this is actually, I have 12 points in my book that I have come not just to myself, but doing research and asking women, and also observing couples that are super happy and healthy with 20, 30, 40 years and beyond of happy and healthy relationships. And I was super interested in them because I wanted to know what is their secret. And I conduct a lot of interviews, and I came with this list. Okay, so by telling you what it feels to be with the right person, you can tell if you are in the wrong relationship. By the way, my girlfriend Marisol, she's in a wonderful relationship. She's super happy. She's super lucky. She is actually probably more than 20 years together, and she's in a wonderful, beautiful relationship. And that is so cool to have her as my friend. So you feel at ease with him, and you can be yourself. How many times we are in a relationship where we are not feeling that we can be ourselves? We need to be with a mask or some sort, right? That we are ourselves, but we're controlling our thoughts. We have to control what we say. We have to control everything we do because we don't want to upset the other person. This is very telling. If you're not capable of being yourself 100%, like with all your quirks, with all your strengths and weaknesses, with all who you are, with your entire being, you have to acknowledge that something might be probably not wrong. Probably maybe you are doing that because you just love him so much and you respect him too much. That is not a problem. We all want to put our best face in front of people. Right now, I put my makeup right for you. I'm trying to be more presentable. Now Siri's talking. Okay, Siri, shut up. It's normal. But what is not normal is to put a face that is not you. If you are not in alignment with who you are, and even worse, if that person gets upset of who you are in truly, that is something that you have to be very concerned and check it out, okay? That's my number one, and I would say that this is one of the very telling for a healthy or unhealthy relationship. My number 2 would be, I'm just gonna call today 4, but like I mentioned in my book, I put 12 different aspects of how you can tell if you're in a healthy relationship, in a good relationship. Okay, number 2 is you trust him and he makes you feel valued and secure. You feel secure with that person. You don't feel like he's gonna betray you. You don't feel like he's gonna leave you in the dark. You feel secure with him. You feel you can trust him. This is so important, especially for women. We look naturally, this is in our genetics, we look for security, and that's why we want someone that we can trust. And trust, by the way, is one of the number one issues I receive from ladies when they enter in the group. Not everybody, of course, but it's just like, by the way, the biggest questions, the biggest issue in their relationships, either they're single or in a relationship, this is one of the biggest issue: trust. So if you have trust issues in your relationship, you have to be very concerned. Okay, trust issues are a big concern. Like I mentioned the other day, trust is more important than love. Why? Because we can love that person, but if we don't trust him, there's a big crack, and the crack is gonna just get worse. Trust me, I know that for many bad relationships where the trust was not there. Okay, that's so important. Number 3, he needs to inspire you to be your best self. If he inspires you just to be your worst, it can be that he just makes you crazy because how he is. If he's controlling, if he is a narcissist, if he's an abuser, physical or verbally, if he's a liar, if he's a cheater, he's not going to inspire you to be your best self, right? He's going to inspire you to just be your craziest normal. That would be normal. If you're crazy because he does all that, you are not crazy. Actually, he's making you crazy and he's inspired that in you. It's not you, it's him. But my ladies, of course, you are there, and that's the problem. I'm saying, I actually wrote once a blog post where I said sometimes we need one person to make a relationship collapse. That would be him. But we have the responsibility to love ourselves and step out of relationships that are not bringing the best of ourselves. So that would be the number 3. Number 4, your mind is invested in happy, loving thoughts most of the time. This is true the first month, the first year, or the first 10 years together and beyond. If he's not making you feel most of the time, look, I'm not saying all the time, right? It's not perfection we are looking for. I have not perfect relations. Nobody has. All those happy, wonderful couples I interview, they are not always happy. We all have problems in our relationships. But most of the times we are like, My friend Marisol, who was here, she has such a wonderful relationship. Such a beautiful relationship. Like, she's always like speaking so beautiful, kindly words, loving words of her husband, because she has a wonderful relationship. They are like over 20 years together, and it's amazing. Okay, so you need to have those thoughts most of the time. Like I said, the first month, the first year, and 10 years and beyond of your relationship, you are having positive feelings about him, about your relationship. If you're not having positive feelings and thoughts, something is off, and you have to be aware and don't try to deny it. Denial is the number one reason people suffer, right? Because we say, no, everything's good, everything is okay, and we put a mask, and that mask gets just heavier and heavier and heavier. So I'm not here to judge you, just to help you get awareness, okay? So that would be the 4 points, but like I mentioned in my book, where I'm reading this information, I have 12 more points about it. Don't worry, I'm gonna keep doing those lives, so I'm gonna give you more information. But now, let's go with the second point. This is the way you tell the difference. If you're not feeling that, well, this is a very telling way to tell the difference about healthy or unhealthy relationship. Why we fall for an unhealthy dead-end relationship? The biggest question. Many would say, well, that's destiny. Well, that's life. People change. That's true. People change. We evolve. And some people evolve negative. Some people evolve positively. But the truth is, and this is scientifically and psychologists have done studies, people don't change much, okay? Unless you have a big crisis, okay, most people would change positively. Most people would change for better. Or sometimes, yeah, people, when they get a big crisis, sometimes they become really someone more negative than they were, or a big difference, okay? So very big crisis in your life can change you a lot. But in general, people don't change much. So we are who we are. We can improve ourselves. That's true. I have improved a lot with a lot of awareness, with a lot of work, and enormous amount of information. Like I said, I wrote this book because I knew I had gathered so many knowledge over the 10 years I was searching for answers. So these 10 years got me to fix my problem, and that's why I wrote the book. So why we fall for unhealthy and dead end relationships? Well, number one, I would say because your foundation is shaky. Your foundation is weak. Your foundation of who you are is not in alignment with your wishes, your desires, and of course, you don't know who you really are, and you don't know what you want. You don't have probably life purpose, or some of you have a life purpose. Some of you can be very successful in your career, very successful with your finances. You can be very successful with your family, with other situations in your life. You can have a very successful cultural, social life, financial, the spiritual. You can be fantastic in all those relationships, but sometimes one of those aspects, if you haven't make it a commitment of getting serious in understanding what you really want in a relationship. We're talking here of only romantic relationships, right? If we don't get crystal clear what we want and how to get there, right? Because one thing is to know, and the other thing is how to get there. So you don't get that clearance, your foundation is weak. And I speak in the book again about the foundation. It's the first chapter because it's the most important aspect of any human being, actually, just to do anything, success in life. You have to have a great foundation, and that is you, and knowing yourself, loving yourself, forgiving yourself, using compassion, having this clarity of who you are and what you want. Okay, that would be the number one reasons people fall for dead end relationships. How do I know that? I've been there. I fall for many bad, unhealthy relationships, but because I was really like a ship with no direction. I was just going like a flow. Like I always say, don't just go with the flow. It is a very wrong advice. Of course, some people are very lucky. I know people that are very lucky that they just go with the flow, and they sometimes you can hit the jackpot. That is unfortunately some of the exceptions, but you can try it, but I don't recommend you, okay? So that was the first reason, and I would say that is the biggest reason. Oh, another of my lovely friends is watching here. Isabella, beautiful. So that would be the number one reason. Just know yourself and be true, knowing, understanding who you are and what you really want in your romantic relationship. That would be to work in your foundation. That's the reason we fall for those relationships. The biggest one, of course, when you don't know how to get there also. That is another aspect that I'm going to be talking in other videos, okay? How to get there, how to try healthy relationships. So we're going to be avoiding bad and dead end relationships. And number 3 for our today talk is how to avoid unhealthy relationships. I'm talking about that actually. How to avoid this unhealthy relationship. Well, actually, in my book, in the chapter number 4, actually here I have entire chapters where I said how to recognize a winner and rule out the winner illusion. So that means how to avoid a dead end relationship. Well, the entire chapter is speaking about, and I have just psychology here. I took me a while to get this information because I wanted to make it, to be sure that I was giving you something that was digestible, that was easy to read. I wanted to clear all the complication of how the psychologists talk, because this was based on psychology and a lot of research, and I personally apply it, and that's what I give always my clients, and it is very helpful. It's a guide of 14 questions you have to ask a man, okay, before you start a serious relationship, before you get attached. Of course, like I mentioned before, first you work on your foundation, then you know how to track the right guy, and then, of course, you know how to filter him. By the way, this the chapter number 4 is about filtering a man, right? So you need to identify, also to know how to identify the traits of a good guy, of a healthy man, a healthy emotionally man, right? I'm not talking about physically, this is another topic, this is another thing. I'm talking about healthy emotionally, right? There are traits, and this is again based on psychology, based on personality psychology, and all is based on science. So there are really traits that they are very telling, and you have to be watching for those. There are actually 6 traits and 6 positive traits and 6 negative traits that you have to be very aware. I've done some information about it, but like I said, if you want to go deeper, everything is in the book. So just to give you an example, of the question that you have to ask a man before starting a serious relationship, you have to ask him, like, I'm going to give just one question. And if you really do these questions, you're going to save yourself a lot of headache, a lot of trouble. So the question number 1 every woman has to ask, and I personally did, and I recommend anyone does that, is to ask him what he wants in a relationship. Listen, you are not asking him what you want with me, okay? I didn't ask my now loving man if he wanted to have a serious relationship with me, or what do you want with me? Do you want to have a serious relationship with me? I didn't say that. What I said is, what are you looking for in a relationship? I wanted to know his intentions. I wanted to know what kind of man he was with that answer, because if he would tell me, I'm just passing my time, I want to just see what is out there and check it out, I would really not be interested, because I was in a moment in my life, okay, of course, I was near my 40s and I was like, I want a serious relationship, but I didn't say that until I asked him what he wanted. So I wanted to make sure we were in the same page, and that's what you need to do. Understand yourself and then check that he wants the same thing. So now I give you one big chunk of how to identify a healthy and good relationship for you. Need to know that this person, you have to know what he wants, and what he wants is the same you want, a serious and happy relationship. And if what you want is a guy that is faithful, that gives you security, that gives you, you have a list. You ask him all that because it's part of who you are, and you confirm that with him. Now, you're not telling him, this is what I want from you. You got to tell him, this is what I want. I don't know if you can give it to me. I'm not saying you, but I'm looking for that. And many women are afraid to talk about that because they say that he's going to think I have an agenda. And I see many coaches saying, don't show him your agenda. This is wrong. If you want to be empowered, you want to have this equality, they can say whatever they want, a man, right? We have the same right to say what we want, this to be honest, to be true with someone we meet. If you meet someone and you are already ready for a serious relationship and you find him attractive, you're not telling him, I want to marry you, right? You don't say that, but you say, what I want is a serious relationship. What do you want? First, ask him. Don't tell him what you want first. Tell him first, what is he looking for? And check that he's in alignment with your wishes and desires and everything you want. Check that he is in alignment with who you are and your vision of your life. When you have that is massive. I hope this information serves you, ladies. And if you want to go more into detail, go to get my book, The Empowered Woman's Guide to Dating. It costs like $5, the electronic, and $10, the paperback. Otherwise, I'm also put the link under this video about 3 strategies on how to track a great, happy, healthy relationship. Just 3 strategies. They are proven and they are free for you. See you next week. Bye bye.